So just as Judith Jarvis Thompson decides to leave the question of personhood or the debate about personhood alone and to approach the ethics of abortion in a different way, so does Don Marquis. That is, he gives us reasons, and perhaps more substantive reasons, for not approaching it that way, and in saying that the discussion amongst philosophers seems to be really kind of hopeless in terms of finding a resolution about whether or not the fetus actually is a person, and the different implications in terms of killing persons and killing human beings and the connections. So he goes about it in a different way, and things really get interesting, I think, is when he says that the only way we're really going to resolve the ethics of abortion is if we get a clear sense of a more fundamental question, a more fundamental moral question, and that is the ethics of killing. And asking the question why, generally speaking, it's wrong to kill. As he says on page 189, all this suggests that a necessary condition of resolving the abortion controversy is a more theoretical account of the wrongness of killing. That is, what is it that makes killing wrong? And that may seem like a silly question, because we just sort of assume that killing somebody is wrong. Killing another human being is wrong, and that there's no reason to ask for a reason why. But that's what philosophers do. I mean, there should be a reason why. We should be able to state the reason why killing somebody is wrong, even if it seems too obvious to point out. We should be able to point it out. And his way of going about this is, I think, as important his strategy. Look at the way he begins section 2 here. In order to develop such an account, the account of the wrongness of killing, we can start from the following unproblematic assumption concerning our own case. It is wrong to kill us. Why is it wrong? So the assumption is, well, okay, it's wrong. It would be wrong for me to kill you. It would be wrong for you to kill me. Why is that wrong? What is the wrong-making feature, as the philosophers might say, of that act? If you were to kill me or I were to kill you, like why? What is it about that act that makes it wrong? And after rejecting some other, which he considers pretty weak answers to that question, he has his own answer here. He says, what primarily makes killing wrong is neither its effect on the murderer nor its effect on the victim's friends and relatives. That is, you couldn't say that the reason that killing somebody is wrong because it makes the killer more brutal, or you can't really say that the reason that killing somebody is wrong is because the people who knew that person will grieve. Those things may be true, but they miss the point. So he says, what primarily makes killing wrong is neither its effect on the murderer nor its effect on the victim's friends and relatives, but its effect on the victim. The loss of one's life is one of the greatest losses one can suffer. So what makes killing wrong is that you are taking away somebody's life. And what does that mean, taking away somebody's life? Because, you certainly can't take away their past experiences. What you're doing is preventing them from having future experiences. As he says on top page 190, when I am killed, I am deprived both of what I now value, which would have been part of my future personal life, but also what I would come to value. Therefore, when I die, I am deprived of all the value of my future. Inflicting this loss on me is ultimately what makes killing me wrong. So that's his general idea, is that what makes killing a being like us wrong is that you deprive us of our futures, of our future experiences. Now, there may be different other types of beings who don't have futures like ours, which might indicate that it's not wrong to kill them. That's unresolved. But certainly it's wrong to kill beings like ourselves because of the kind of futures that we presumably have waiting for us, and the deprivation of those futures, the futures like ours, is what makes killing us wrong. So it's pretty clear. It should be pretty clear, I think, if you're paying attention, where he's going to go with this, right? Um, that is, if what makes killing beings like us wrong is that you're depriving that being of a future like ours, then clearly it would be wrong to kill any being that had a future like ours, because you would be depriving it of a future like ours. And excuse me, that is exactly what he's doing in terms of applying this to abortion. Um, as he says, let's see, this is page 192. He says right here, the claim that the primary wrong-making feature of a killing is the loss to the victim of the value of its future has obvious consequences for the ethics of abortion. The future of a standard fetus includes a set of experiences, projects, activities, and such which are identical with the futures of adult human beings and are identical with the futures of young children. Since the reason that it is sufficient to explain why it is wrong to kill human beings after the time of birth is a reason that also applies to fetuses, it follows that abortion is prima facie, that is, on a first look, um, seriously morally wrong. It may be that there are exceptions, but what stands out on first look is that, well, I mean, abortion, if abortion is the taking away or the deprivation of a future like ours to a being, and what makes killing in general wrong is that it takes away futures like ours, then it obviously applies to abortion. So that's like the big idea here. But there are obviously some details that he needs to take care of. But the basic argument, the central argument here, is a certain claim about what makes killing wrong in general, and then applying that general theory to the specific case of abortion.